What is going on, people? Welcome back. Johnny here, back to the Rimhammer Beast in Space playthrough. Thanks for the comment. Indeed, it would be possible to edit these guys to like dorms. It just doesn't seem very fitting in terms of what Beastmen should want. So they generally just don't give much of a crap about where they sleep. Except for these certain traits like greedy and jealous. Those tend to alter it, but back to the beginning here. The herdstone is truly a beautiful work of art. We're working on completing a hospital as well yet. And not a lot going on in the north at this point. We still have that ancient danger to crack into, but for the most part, we're getting by just fine without it. I just would like some weapons. Now, the bodies have rotted in the south, so we can gift those to Nurgle by burning them at the herdstone. And when we hit 7, you'll see the first reward. Well, the herdstone upgrades, number 1, and the reward from Nurgle is a legendary Morning Star of Nurgle, which is a pretty spectacular weapon. So we will put that upon some worthy soul. And we do have a fella named Fiery Paw who shows up at that point to join. He's a Bestigor, equipped with a Bestigor axe, which is pretty awesome. Pretty shit traits. I don't like jealous. I don't like abrasive, but here we are with the Beastmen. if something else doesn't wipe us out sooner, many of these people will end up going on a little caravan to fight to their demise against some foe or another. Anyways, we're making some fancy bedrooms for the people that require it. Research proceeds at a strong pace because we have 2 research tables. And there's still crap strewn all around here. Various holding stockpiles. Since the herdstone upgraded, we can actually start making offerings to Slaanesh and Tzeentch in the form of food offerings. So Slaanesh will take meat, and Tzeentch will take non-meat, I guess vegetables, or plants. Let's go with plant-based on that. And that will satisfy those gods. You do have to donate quite a bit to them in order to get them to accept it and be happy for the herdstone to upgrade again. The animals continue to plague us, although perhaps it's us that continue to plague them. And there are lots of caribou, which are not the best target for our hunting because they're constantly getting pissed off at us. And then we have to go deal with it. You can see we got the hospital fleshed out. And in terms of the world map, I'm thinking about a caravan here. Our numbers have grown quite a bit, and we do get bonuses for defeating factions, either Empire or Dwarf. Any faction good aligned or order aligned from the Rimhammer series. So we start with offerings, or we are about to, just as more caribou go nuts over here. Zalkak here gets swarmed by caribou. Don't have a lot of options to help him out just based on where everybody's at. We do have several people out hunting, and they take it on the chin as well. Kolgar goes down. Zalkok goes down. Zalkak goes down. And we're just going to start straight up trying to murder face people. We do have some pretty legitimate melee people here, so why not get some practice? Our Minotaur has the Axe of Corn that we acquired from gifting things to Corn. Actually, burning bodies in the name of Corn, thus providing a skull for the Skull Throne. So anyways, you get the idea. We're going to smash and bang on all these dudes and get the hell out quick because not a huge threat. Fortunately, we have a lot of people with firearms right now. And there's still a crossbow over there, a couple odds and ends. Regardless of that, these fancy Beastman weapons, actually very powerful Beastman weapons, make quick work of these butthead beasts, aka caribou. Anyway, we're going to rescue our people, get their weapons and stuff brought back in. We have a ton of caribou we can come out here and bring in at this point as well. So anyways, back to making an offering. We're going to make a meat offering, and it's going to be great, which is the largest one you can make. And we're going to have our Bray Shaman, when he's done tending, take care of that for us because tending is very important right now. I also have to set all these beds to be medical. Alright, it is being brought. There you go. The herd does not gather for this type of offering, but it is easy to just continually do it while you have what you need. And you can see our Slaaneshi favor is at 5. The sacred number of Slaanesh, if you go to the info on the herdstone, is 6. So there you go. The first reward from Slaanesh is the weapon, and that's pretty fantastic. It's a whip, so it's not a melee weapon, it's a ranged weapon. But minimal range, but badass damage. So anyways, we have way too many pawns here. It's high time we started getting some meal stuff sorted out properly. I'm thinking we might be able to make everybody happy if we make finer meals, but once we get a proper eating area set up, I'm just gonna go ahead and make the slop cauldron so they can eat that at their will, and I don't overly have to worry about dealing with making meals. The Thrumbo decide they're coming on in, and there they are, destroying a bunch of traps, not really having been dealt any significant damage at all, because that's the nature of the Thrumbo. Our storage room is almost clean for once. You can't put other buildings onto shelves, so our bedroll will lay there. And it's at that point that some buttheads decide to come flying in and smash through a roof and attack us. And fortunately, they're all restricted to one space, so it shouldn't be too bad to deal with them. It is Monsters of Chaos, which is not surprising. I mean, the different chaos gods are always at each other's throats, so it's not surprising. Regardless, it wasn't much of a threat. We swarm them, we bring them down, and I did lose the video footage from that. So I think I need a new keyboard and a new mouse here. It's not the first time that has happened to me recently. But anyways, it wasn't much of a battle. I mean, there's a lot of blood. But anyway, so since we got the Slaaneshi first level of favor, we're going to carry on and see if we cannot get the Tzeentch one by offering up veggies. We're not having a huge surplus of vegetables, but we should have enough. So you can pause it here and read all that. It'll tell you all the details on these offerings. So we're going to do it twice, because with the great offering, that will push us up to 10. There we go. Boom. Favor of Tzeentch, and we'll have Gaukraz equip that. It also works like a brace staff in that it will help to prevent miscasts. So there you go. And we did not get the herdstone to upgrade itself there. You have to give quite a bit more than that. I believe we have to hit the sacred number for both of those gods squared, which would be 36 and 81 respectively of Slaanesh and Tzeentch. But we'll get there. Not a big deal. We have a ton of meat. It's just overflowing everywhere. Our power stations, aka turbines, are blocked. How can you make wind when there's giant fucking trees growing everywhere? You can't. So we're going to put some bone floors around through there and alleviate this problem in the future. The Thrumbos continue to hang out, but they're not causing any problems. We don't have any components. We still can't make components because our only real crafter, Gaukraz, is inadequately skilled to craft those. So we're going to get back into microelectronics, but it seems like perhaps geothermal is yeah, we just finished microelectronics. Sorry, geothermal is the next path, and then that will alleviate all of our problems with power forever. And there go the Thrumbo, destroying a few more traps on their way out and providing nothing. We are doing some hunting for whatever reason. These beasts don't attack us, so we decide to attack them. There's a caravan nearby. We could go and claim a bunch of wealth and stuff. It's really not even that far, but also we haven't been significantly raided in a while, so with the herdstone up, raids are more frequent. I'm hesitant to send anybody out at this point to attack an entire caravan, because as it stands, it would pretty much take everybody we have. So I'm going to make a room for hanging out, socializing, eating, playing the drum, those kind of things. And then we can get our workroom more stabilized towards work. We're also going to need additional bedrooms in order to get sleeping spaces out of our working room. Chaos meat continues to rot away at a very rapid rate. which is for the best if you don't want your people going berserk. So, Fiery Paw's been injured. Zalkuk has been injured. I am going to cast the magic spell. Whenever anybody's injured, I just bring them all in the hospital, and I have Dirtle come in and cast that magic spell. And it works pretty well, keeping everybody on their feet. So, I think that's a swell idea. We're making bone doors everywhere. They're pretty weak, but who cares? Beastmen don't give a shit. I'm checking out these bone floors. Listen to the Ungors. Bang on the drums. I did work a chaos symbol into this floor. We ran out of granite and had to improvise, but whatever. It looks sufficiently beastman-y that way, I suppose. So, tables. We're going to just throw a ton of tables in here, wherever I can seem to get them to fit. Probably put a campfire in here too. I'm debating it, but it seems fitting. Just open all the doors and have a campfire burning. Put some shelves in here as a spot to put the food. I'm actually going to build the cauldron. I changed my mind on the table. So there's the cauldron. And we just got to get some meat put in there. See, we have critical storage over here, which means we have to actually set that lower and set these cauldron slot buckets to be critical in order that food will actually show up. But you can see they're all already eating it. I had to change their food restriction to only allow disgusting slop, which you have to remember to undo when you go on Caravan, lest they starve. But mental aches continue to plague us. Zaukak, whom we rescued against my better judgment, is smashing shit up. So we're just going to make a bunch of offerings to Tzeentch. You can see the numbers get a little screwy because the nutritional value of food decreases as it rots. So the numbers get a little weird. There you go. We got 18,000 points of intellectual experience as a part of that one. And it's typically anybody that's capable of intellectual. But whatever. You can't really control where it goes because Tzeentch will do what Tzeentch wants. Khorne can do the same thing for melee skill, and as can the other gods. I think Nurgle actually gives medical skill, which is pretty solid when we get to that point. Alright, so we did get a healing potion that time in the favor of Slaanesh. Any god has the capacity or a chance to give you a healing potion. So I know it'll cure both lungs of asthma because asthma is considered a single condition here. So I wasn't sure it would fix that rather than something else. So it fixes the one most likely to kill a pawn. And in this case, asthma be gone due to magical means. It also is good to do that because you can get rid of a very expensive item that would otherwise be laying around. So there you go. Now, where else? The Herdstone's looking good. The base is coming along. We're filling in some of these spots. We got Favor of Slaanesh. This time we get a legendary Steel Crude Sword. Not a bad gift. Legendary. Should be quick to wield and should do a fair amount of damage. And Pierce Armor and all that schnaz. So there you go. We're getting there on these offering amounts. But we still have a long way to go. Favor of Slaanesh. This time we actually get a new pawn. A Slaaneshi specific Beastman, Slangor they're called. We're going to need some more bedroom space, so I'm going to get on top of making that. It does occur to me if we start smashing enemy bases, our Herdstone is not in the right spot because you do get all kinds of Sarsen stones and capstones to place around it. So anyway, it's about time we started taming animals because at some point we're going to be well capable of sacrificing animals, and it would be nice if we didn't have to screw around at that point. So the Chalice of Slaanesh is a magical item. It's worth quite a bit. It does give a boost. The Pleasure of Slaanesh can be received by anyone who drinks from the chalice, and there you go. So you get a full year of plus 36 mood. So if you have a really shitty pawn that's always pissing you off with mental breaks, there you go. Bloodtongue here took the Life Bloom spell, which allows him to instantly bring plants to ready to harvest, and the higher levels of the spell do more plants in the radius, but right now he only has level 1, so it doesn't much matter. And we're gonna do some hunting. We're short on mostly, so it's really weird being short on animal products because we don't have material. You see the corn axe does tend to start things on fire. Regardless, we're short on hides and leather, which is pretty interesting. Like, usually that's just not a problem in this game, so it's quite a difference from the dwarf game where we were constantly short of stone, whatever your main building material is. And I'm gonna mix it up in this one, but I was trying to stick with tents, but turns out there's just not a great way to keep a ton of hide on hand. I believe we found that warg down there already dead, having had a battle with the beasts. We do need to make armor as well. And we're also, in order to make that armor, going to have to grow cloth. It does have some cloth worked into it. So at some point here, I'm going to have to get going on that. Slanesh gives us 6 lavish meals, which I do have to allow people to eat here. And we're almost done. Boom. There you go. When you hit that, the God's Sacred Number squared, you'll always get a pawn. You may get a pawn otherwise, but you'll always get one on their Sacred Number squared. So we do get another Slangor. Look at our wealth, 116,000 and some change. Not great. Not great at all. But bedrooms will be coming in soon. We have started taming animals. So we should have plenty. I think you have to sacrifice 30 of them, 30 animals, in order to get the herdstone to upgrade to the final level where you can start sacrificing people. There's a party on in this scene, and they just can go hang out outside somewhere and have a party. All right, cool, dudes. They're beasts. Whatever they think is best is fine with me. Torn on the weapon thing, but it's probably going to be worthwhile to make some pretty awesome weaponry. Although, I mean, the gifts we're getting for the herdstone are pretty phenomenal as it stands. So that time we only get 27 dubers. Just mediocre at best, but you'll see all the rewards are keyed to multiplications of that specific god's sacred number, and that's all intentional. So yeah, you can tell we're doing another Zinch reward here. We have to get all the way to 81, which is a pretty tall order, and we'll continue to carry on doing that. Though there are berries around, we're going to try and harvest berries. We're also hunting. Zaukag here is hunting with this whip of very short range, and he just chases this thing around for a day trying to catch it. But oddly, you think he'd get frustrated and give up. I get frustrated. I was curious to see if it would ever actually hit the damn thing. There he goes. Now he's giving it a good whip, and he's out of here. It does look like it's going to expire on its own. There you go. We got double favor of Zinch. So we did get a Zinchian pawn. That's a Zangor. None of these pawns are typically great. If you get a good Beastman, you gotta you really thank the dark gods. So that time Zinch gives us a legendary bow. I must have something a little wrong. I shouldn't have gotten two rewards at once there. Zinch gives us a bunch of wood. And we finished leader armor, so that's going to be a goal here, is to make armor, and then we'll make helmets for everybody in this crew. If they're going to be out doing extensive battle, we will need to be well equipped. So it's at that point that a ship falls out of the sky. Another defoliator. I actually would much rather have that than the alternative, because if it were a psychic droning ship, people here would lose their shit. The Ungors seem to be the biggest problem in terms of their attitude. There you go, another double favor of Zinch. So I shouldn't have gotten 2 favor of Zinches there. Something might be a little wrong in the source code, but it's on my list of things to correct here. Anyways, we have yet to make it to get the herdstone to upgrade. We're going to go for... I've just been working through the general Beastman stuff since it's much faster than the vanilla stuff, but there is a significant amount of vanilla stuff that we need to do. We are making components now with Kraz when he's not on a damn mental break. But anyways, back to that whole thing about planting some cotton so we can make a crap ton of armor and helmets. Tantrum, high psychic drone. There is a male high psychic drone on as an event. You can see none of the Beastman stuff stands up to any abuse. The tents smash up pretty quick, as do the furniture. And that's more than a little frustrating, especially considering we don't really have the means to rebuild them out of the same thing. So I have to get involved and cancel construction and blah, blah, blah. Alright, what do we get that time? 18 fine meals from the favor of Zinch. And once again, we do have to make sure everybody is allowed to eat those meals, because it's not always the case. And there we go. Another favor of Zinch in the form of a Zinchian pawn. So you got Pestigors for Nurgle, Slangors for Slanesh, Zangors for Zinch, and Korngors for Korn. We haven't gotten any of the Nurgle or Korn ones yet, but we are massively growing ourselves with these super strong pawns. One thing about those pawns too is that they do have very, very valuable weapons. There you go. Herdstone upgraded. Favor as each. We hit the sacred number. Life is good. Another pawn joins. Jeez, man. Yeah, we're going to have to send out some war parties here, though. So anyways, we can start with the sacrificing of animals. You can select the god to which you give it to. And again, we know if we reach the sacred number of that god squared in terms of their favor, then we... Wanderer joins, sorry. Then we do get a pawn, a specific pawn for that god. Alright, another Wanderer's joined. He's got Beastman Throwing Axe, Fast Learner, of course, Jealous. And here goes our first sacrifice. The herd does gather for the sacrifice of any living being. And they wait for the Bray Shaman to bring the living being down for set. So we're giving this guy to Korn. Korn doesn't care what he gets. I guess the Squirrel Skull is equally as awesome as a human skull. He gives us 64 human meat for that. Every time you sacrifice an animal, it grant you that god's favor. That's it for today, guys. Leave me a like. I do read and respond to all comments. I do love you all, and thank you for your time.